South African truck drivers are threatening to embark on a national shutdown this weekend. Now, their concerns include the employment of foreign nationals as drivers and the loading system that employers use. The strike could hurt the struggling economy and also destabilize supply chains, already taking a strain from the country's dilapidated rail network as billions of rands worth of goods are transported through critical corridors, which include the very busy Johannesburg to Durban N3 route. Now, in November 2020, a spate of violent attacks rocked the road freight industry after scores of trucks were torched or vandalized. The attacks also fueled tensions between South Africans and foreign truck drivers. Many truck drivers found themselves caught between making a living to survive and fearing for their safety. To discuss this matter, we are joined virtually by Mandla Mngomezulu, and he's from, of course, the All Truck Drivers Forum, and he's the Deputy Chairperson, and Mary Phadi, who is the Truck Association of South Africa President. Good to have both of you. Thank you very, very much for your time.
Good morning, Leah.
Good morning, Leah.
Thanks very much. Good morning.
Good morning, President.
Indeed. Thanks for both of you joining us. Now, Ms. Phadi, let's start with you. You're saying that the Truckers Association of South Africa says it will soon engage with truck drivers in an attempt to avert another strike. So let's talk about this. How are you planning to do this?
Look, as operators, it is always a concern when we see anything that is affecting, the current operators that are bleeding. So from time to time in engagement, it's a normal thing to, go through, because if you look at the grievances of the truck drivers that have mentioned, there are a few of them that really requires operators which are employers, and there are those that requires Department of Home Affairs, and there are those that requires the Department of Labor. So we'll definitely, try by all means, with the situation where we are in, not to see another strike in South Africa. So we'll definitely try to communicate with, the ATDF. We have, communicated with them. The Deputy President of TAS has already engaged with one of the executive members, and we are hoping that this proposal will definitely not fall into the closed ears, because if you look at the load shedding, the loading and the offloading processes or time, it's taking very long, and therefore truck operators are really having a challenge in South Africa at the moment.
Yes, indeed, and that's where, of course, Mr. Mngomezulu, I bring you into the conversation, because this is a threat from your forum, which is the All Truck Drivers Forum. You are going ahead. I mean, nothing at this point is stopping you from embarking on this national shutdown. Perhaps you want to talk about your grievances right now.
Thank you, ma'am. Our grievances have been long. Overdue, because since we are in 7 years now, talking about one thing. As we are saying that the issue of employing foreigners, Mary Phadi was a part of the tax team that was formed by the ministers, so that they can address the issues and our concern. But that tax team has failed us because they was doing nothing. It was only the promises and only the lies. They report the lies. That's why the drivers, they were saying now, no, let's go back to the street. As an organization, ATDF, we say, as South African drivers, when they are saying they are going back to the street, we are going to support them, because we know exactly the real issues, because we've been raising these issues for a long time. This issue of load system, the issue of employing foreigners, the issue of cameras inside the trucks, because we are sleeping inside the truck, but they put the cameras. We are saying to them, no, we don't want those cameras. We don't want the load system, because it's killing the innocent people, because the drivers, they have to they have to drive even when they are tired, because they have to make money. Because while we are standing, we are not making any money. We make money while we are driving. We are saying that load system is killing the innocent people on the road, is killing the drivers. And we want compliance on all companies. Ms. Mary Phadi knows exactly that most of the companies in the road freight industry, they are not complying with the collective agreement. We are saying as truck drivers, we want all the companies to comply with the road freight bargaining council, so that will be less incident on the road, so that there will be no shutdown if we are all agreed on one thing. Because the issue of foreigners, we all agree that it's illegal to employ a foreigner in the trucking industry. But the problem is that no one wants to listen to the drivers.
Yeah. So let me come back to you on this particular question, Ms. Phadi. When we talk to foreign drivers, and also the issue of the camera, because those are the ones that seem to be a common thread in occurrence whenever we hear about these particular strikes that the truck drivers take on. Let us address the issue of truck drivers and the foreign nationals that seem to be taking these jobs. Talk to us about this. What has been discussed, and what is government or anybody, particularly the owners of these trucks, doing about this?
Look, what we have engaged with the owners for the past 7 years, because Mr. Mngomezulu is correct by saying that their grievances is coming that long, is that, the Minister of Home Affairs has made it very clear that this is not a scarce key, and therefore employing a foreign truck driver in South Africa is definitely illegal. And some of the operators, because they don't belong, they tend to do as they wished, because the industry that is where we are in now, it's an industry that is not regulated. It's self-regulatory technical systems that are put in there. But the Department of Transport is not in charge of any operator in South Africa because of, the regulation. And, the point is the regulation has passed now in Parliament, but it is something that, is taking longer to implement. And if everybody has got the operating license, people are going to be suspended. People are going to be able to force to follow any rule that is happening in South Africa. That's one thing. And, as association, most of our operators have complied to the requirements of the ATDF. But you'll always find, those operators that will have their own way of doing things.
Yeah.
Secondly, with the issue of the, task team, one of the things that is, let me put it this way, 3 things that are on the task team that the ATDF has raised is the issue of the visa requirement, the traffic register, and, the issue of the employing of the foreign truck drivers. And, those are the things that are there. And it is unfortunate that, every month we've been, as stakeholders, been saying to the government, let's speed up the processes. And indeed, the ATDF has abandoned the task team meeting because they've seen that we are moving in a slow pace, all of us, including government, to be able to implement at least one of the things. And we are hoping that, we will be able to find a solution that will make this strike not to happen because of the consequences that might be thereof.
So, 7 years, as we say, and we keep emphasizing that this has been going on. It's the 28th of April. This threatened shutdown is meant to be taking place on the 30th, which is on Sunday. Do you in any way, Mandla, believe that something can happen from the negotiations, from the task team, from something that's put forward to you that can actually stop the strike from going ahead as things stand right now?
No, the tax team was doing well while it was conducted by the Department of Transport. The problem started when other stakeholders joined, like the Department of Home Affairs and the Department of Labor. They didn't do nothing. The Department of Transport was trying to do everything that need the Department of Transport to do. But other side of the Department of Labor, Department of Home Affairs, there is nothing. And as an organization, we have raised the issue that some of the companies, as Ms. Mary says, some of the companies, they were complying with our grievances, removing the illegal foreigners on their workplace. But some companies have been employing them. And we raised those issues and we give them names of the company. But there's nothing was done. The Department of Labor is doing nothing. All they're saying they got shortage of inspectors. And now if there is shortage of inspectors, who is suffering after it? Is the driver. But those employers, they are doing as they wish every time. And that's why we decided as SA drivers to go back to the street so that the government can enforce the law. Because here we need the enforcement, not even new laws, because there is laws that says we are not allowed to employ a foreigner in South Africa because driving is not a scarce key. But the immigration the ones who are working on the borders, but the drivers are passing there with South African trucks, with their foreign passport and foreign license. They are passing. The immigration is doing nothing. We have seen Dr. Mngomezulu, who was working up and down as if like was doing something. There's nothing was doing because the trucks are passing the borders through immigration. There's nothing has been done.
Yeah. And this is a problem, but let me just get back to my original question to you, Mandla. Is there anything that can happen between now and Sunday to stop the strike from going ahead?
If there will be anything, the strike will go off. If there is anything, but now there is nothing.
Okay.
Because the drivers, they say they want action, not promises, because they've been promised for a long time.
And in 2020, we saw something like this, very similar happening. And I mean, it caused a lot of damage, a lot of devastation. I mean, we saw trucks being burnt on roads. We saw long queues of cars, and we saw a lot of destruction taking place at this time. The kind of strike that is set, or the shutdown that you are planning on embarking on, will this be similar to what we saw in 2020, or have you warned members?
Now, as an organization, we're always asking and begging the drivers that always when they are going for this shutdown, they must be peaceful, and then they must move away from the location, because most of the time when they protest near location, when the people from the location see the trucks are standing there, it's when they go for looting and they are burning the trucks, not the truck drivers. That's why we ask the drivers to be far away from the location. But now the problem is that even the police are provoking the drivers. But in Pretoria, we agree that with Mr. Phadi, that the police, they are no longer going to interfere with our protest in the companies, because they say we must move away from the road and go straight direct to the companies. But when we go to those companies, the same police, they come and shoot us, arresting us for nothing, because we are protesting peaceful. That's why they decided to go back to the road. But what we have been asking from drivers, that they must do it peacefully and far away from the location, so that no looting, the truck will be safe, because we want those trucks. But if we can't say anything can happen, because we don't know what is going to happen. Because what we are saying, we say that the company, they should park the truck on their depots, not on the road. But if they decided to release the trucks, we don't know what is going to happen, but what we are asking is that they must be peaceful and away from the location.
Mandla, just very quickly, how many members are we talking about now? How big is this national shutdown expected to be?
Sorry?
How big? How many members, firstly, are there within the All Truck Drivers Forum and Allied South Africa? Talk to us about how big this is expected to be.
It's big because it's nationwide. It's nationwide. We've got members all over the country. Now we have more than 11,000 members.
Yeah. So just finally, Mary, let me leave this one with you. I mean, you've heard the demands, you've heard what can be done to stop this from taking place. Is there anything that the task team can do between now and Sunday to avert the strike?
Look, there is a possibility. We have a task team meeting today, with, all stakeholders. I should think that our leaders are taking this thing serious. It is unfortunate that, from time to time when people are engaging us in offices, we are expecting them to go to the street for a solution. There will always be a solution. There's nothing in South Africa that can be able to, be controlled by a decision that our government cannot overpower that decision. Anything can happen. We hope that our meeting today will bring a solution, and definitely our ministers will come out, do a media briefing so that this strike cannot happen. As soon as we find that solution, I should think that ministers will be able to communicate that. I do have hope. There's always hope, and we wouldn't want to see this strike to happen, because, like Mr. Mandla is saying, they might ban trucks from the location, people that are seeing something that is happening. Secondly, is the issue of the looting of those trucks. And the other thing that is very sensitive that we have seen before is the banning of a person inside the truck, inside the cab. We cannot afford that, and we are hoping that there might be a solution.
All right. we leave it there for now. Thank you to both of my guests, Mandla Mngomezulu, he's the All Truck Drivers Forum Deputy Chairperson, and of course Mary Phadi from the Truckers Association of South Africa. She's the president there, speaking about that looming national shutdown this weekend for South African truck drivers. So keep alert and certainly stay tuned to SABC as we bring you the update from that task team meeting and some of the findings and decisions there.